Hello and welcome to the Gambler Betting Podcast. And it's a special edition of the podcast this week. For the first time ever, we're recording it in the same room, in a studio, and it's great to see you, David. Greg, how's things?
Very well, thank you.
Well,
Lovely
thank
to be
you.
here.
Great to have you in Scotland, David. Great to have you back. And you've landed in what is in the middle of the biggest party in 27 years. What timing?
Yeah, I mean, unbelievable. I was watching last night with my dad in the house, and it's been a long time coming. I was 12 years old last World Cup we were at, so it's about time.
Yeah, and there's going to be a few hangovers this morning, I think, Greg.
Lots of hangovers. Some people not even home yet, I believe.
We won't mention Div. We're catching up with Div later, so we'll see what kind of nick he's in by the time we get to him. And of course, Scotland going to be there, which is brilliant. Norway also going to be there.
Yeah, unbelievable campaign for them. They've won every single game in qualifying, including Italy twice, Israel twice. So yeah, it's been 1988 since they were last at the World Cup as well, and it's a really, really big thing for them.
That gives you two chances.
Two chances.
Can't lose, David.
Yeah,
Can't lose.
Can't lose. And I mean, that Norway team looks on paper a lot better than Scotland's, and it's pretty exciting stuff for Norwegians right now.
How much David's down to Haaland in that team?
I mean, I think
he gets the credit and all the glory.
He does. But I think
Gets
without
the
them, they
credit
would
for
still be there. I think Alexander Surlot has become, I think, the third top scorer in the history of Norway.
Really?
And that's in a time where Holland has been banging them in, obviously becoming the top scorer of all time for them. And they've got Ødegaard, they've got Nusa, they've got Middlesbrough Bob at Man City. They've got an unbelievable team just now.
And bringing it back to Eliteserien, how many players are in the squad regularly who are featuring in Eliteserien?
I mean, Patrick Berg is the one who's been in the 11. That's been Bodo Glimt's captain, and he'll pretty much definitely be there. I'd say Bjorkan, the left back at Bodo Glimt, he'll probably be there as his backup left back. Apart from that, you've got a couple of guys who have been in and around some squads. Haaland, the centre half at Brann, a couple of keepers, and yeah, I think by this time next year or by the summer, you'll probably look at maybe 4 or 5 guys, maybe. I think Solbacken's definitely made a concerted effort to look at Eliteserien. And
Quite
try and-
similar to Scotland, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Most of our
Yeah,
best players.
if you think
playing
about that,
in
yeah.
the continents.
And it'll be interesting next summer. Obviously, the World Cup happens more or less right in the middle of the Norwegian season as well. Not happens for most tournaments, but obviously Norway there this time.
Yeah, and it's something that they've kind of prepared for already with the start in the cup now for next year. Yeah, so yeah, it's something that they've kind of already planned for, and yeah, they've got a gap in the season ready for the national team.
Yeah, loads to look forward to, Greg, coming up in the summer. But in terms of now, Eliteserien, we are just 2 games until the end of the season. It's kind of neck and neck at the top of the table. We'll do a kind of quick run through because it's been a while since we've done a podcast. Viking top of the table, 65 points. Bodo Glimt on 64 points. Just 2 games to go. Down the bottom, we've already lost Haugesund, we've lost Strømsgodset, and Brina can just about still survive, but it's looking very, very slim for them.
Yeah.
Beyond that, it's just 3rd and 4th place, which comes with it a Europa League for 3rd place and a Conference League qualifying place.
It's probably both Conference League. It's
Is
just
that
an extra round
based
in
on the
the
cup?
the Europa League goes to the cup. So
Right,
yeah,
okay.
Conference League for both of them. It's just an extra round of qualifiers. So,
Got you.
yeah.
So yeah, that's still to play for between Brann and Tromsø, which we'll come to later on the podcast as well. So lots to look forward to. Still with 2 games to go. There are a few dead rubbers this weekend, so there's maybe not a lot from a betting point of view. But it's maybe worth just maybe recapping where we're at in terms of the league campaign. As I say, Viking top of the table. Goal difference of 36. Bodo Glimt a point behind them with a goal difference of 51. So a fascinating end to the season for us in the next 2 weeks.
It's been neck and neck for the last 3 months now. They've just been going top, each of them, and maybe dropping off a bit. Viking got it 11 unbeaten now.
Yeah.
12.
It's at 12 unbeaten with 9
Since
wins.
the Glimt game, wasn't it?
Yeah,
The
since
last
Glimt
game?
beat them in July, they're unbeaten. And I mean, fair play to them. They've had a real go at it. They've not got Europe really. They had, I think, 1 round of Europe that they got knocked out of, and I can't see them losing. But I mean, if it's going to happen, it's this weekend.
Yeah.
Fredrikstad, just off a good run themselves. I think they're 5 unbeaten, just off beating Sarpsborg in the derby. They'll want to finish 5th. Going to be a decent season for them if they finish 5th. So
Going
yeah,
back to June, July time, Viking were 10 points ahead. Bodo at 1 point. and to bring it back so quickly as well. So I think for me, it is neck and neck, but the bookies going with Viking at 4-6,
46, yeah.
2 games to go, getting 11-10 on Bodo. David, who's your money on?
Yeah, I do. I mean, it's probably, apart from Bodo Glimt, I think Fredrikstad away is about as hard a game as they're going to get at this stage of the season. Brann have kind of gone off the boil with Europe and everything. Maybe Tromsø. They did have Tromsø recently and managed to win that. But yeah, Fredrikstad is a tough place to go. They're quite a defensive team. They're very direct, very strong. If if they go behind, it's going to be a
Mhm.
real ask.
And of course, Bodo
yeah.
play on Friday night, so they've got a chance
Yes,
to really
that
put
as
the
well.
pressure
So
on
Bodo,
them.
yeah, it's definitely mentioned that Bodo Glimt played Juventus on Tuesday, so they've been given dispensation to play on Friday and get that game out of the way. If they beat Koffa, which I think, I mean,
Cough are
just
done, aren't they?
Koffa done, and Bodo Glimt I think were 2.1 to score 3 goals or more against Koffa. I thought that looked really decent given they're just off a 5-0 win. Sorry, Greg.
Still needs
I
thunder.
don't look at Greg's
Finals.
notes. So yeah, I think that looks like something worth looking at, and I think yeah, Fredrikstad. I don't think they'll give it. I don't think they'll give it away. Viking will go there and they'll put a lot of pressure on them. But I think Fredrikstad are more than capable of holding it to 0-0 or to keeping it very tight. And if they go in at half time and they're drawing and it takes them a wee while to score, then but they're going to get nervous. And actually, something I did look at, I forgot the price now, but the red card in that game, there's a couple of hotheads in that Viking team, and if it doesn't go their way, I can definitely see something going down there. Zlatko Tripic, Berisha, I can see him coming off the bench and getting sent off if things aren't going right. So yeah, I can definitely, a red card in that game, I wouldn't look away for that. That's probably about the only thing. Maybe corners and a red card, that'd be the only things I'd be looking at in that game.
I guess another point is that Bodo have been the distance so many times in the last 5 years, and this is kind of new territory, I suppose,
Yeah.
for a Viking side. So
Yeah.
it's how they respond to that come Sunday. You'd expect Bodo to be top of the league by Sunday, 2 points clear, better goal difference. That's a tough ask.
It is. I mean, it's just something they've not done. They've not won the league since '93. A long time.
93.
I mean, none of these guys were born basically when they last won the league. So it's going to be a tough ask. And just look back to last year. Brann were in exactly the same position going into the second last game of the season. They had a chance to win the league and they blew it in the second last game. So it's
I can see that happening
yeah.
again.
Mm.
There's no question for me that Bodo win on Friday
Yeah.
night. I think looking at the markets, getting 49 for 2 Bodo Glimt goals, which I think is really fair. But 11-8 for 3 Bodo Glimt goals on Friday night is also
not bad,
really attractive.
Yeah.
Koffa's form's fallen off a cliff.
Yeah, they've chucked it.
Really good start to the season, good mid-season, but I think they're winless. They've won one of their last 12 games now. 1 win in 12. No wins in their last 5. It's really a case of how many did Bodo go and score on Friday night.
Yeah.
Then huge pressure on Viking on Sunday.
Yeah, they've got to wait 48 hours as well, and sitting on that, there won't be much sleep on Saturday night. I don't think.
No, I don't suppose so. I should mention that huge thanks to the guys at Celtic Exchange for allowing us to use their studio. And I caught a wee bit of the chat that you had with Tino from Celtic Exchange talking about Kjetil Knutsen. I'll get there eventually. And we were talking about, you were talking about the fact that he doesn't change his team very often. You know, he's got his core group of players that he goes with most of the time. I mean, what a couple of weeks Glimt have got coming up. They've got a game on Friday night, as you say, they've got Juventus at home. They've then got a potential League One decider type thing on Sunday. They've got games against Dortmund coming up. They've got Man City coming up. They've got Atletico Madrid coming up. That takes them into January. And I guess that's probably been a major factor in how Viking have been able to kind of keep up with them.
Yeah.
I suppose, you know, they've
think it's
been so spread probably over the course of the season.
Yeah, I think it's the decisive factor. The only reason Bodo Glimt are in a title race and not 9 points clear. I think from last, you've got to look back to last season, they've been playing Europa League right up until the start of the season. They got to the semi-final of the Europa League, so they were playing that into the start of the season. They then go into the Champions League qualifiers, and they have all the Champions League games now as well. It's I think they must have played at least 20 more games than Viking this year, this calendar year. Just and that that does take its toll. When you mention he doesn't rotate much, something that I think has been probably his biggest weakness as a manager in the last years. He just has fair enough. Like you have your core group of players and you trust them, and can't really say they've not had success. But
Mm.
there's definitely been a point where it comes, you need to go right. We've got this huge squad. We've spent a lot of money on a big squad. Give some of the boys some minutes here and there, and just give some rest to players like Kasper Heg, the striker, is an absolute prime example. Playing every week, he's not scored for weeks now. His confidence is getting shot and shot and shot. Andreas Helmersson's on the bench, comes off the bench every week and scores as soon as he comes off the bench, and he's just not starting him. It's like, just give him a start. Like you don't need to. You've got Heg on the bench, you can bring him on.
Yeah.
You've got this squad is full of quality, and I think, I think it's definitely made the title race much more interesting than it could have been.
What's also helped is Rosenborg have been a shambles, and Molde, both just shambolic. Two of Norway's biggest clubs, who are sitting 8th and 9th in the league. Rosenborg have won 10 of their 28 league games. Molde have won 11.
What's really interesting about Rosenborg was
they
started really well, and that was off the back of finishing
strongly last season.
Really well last season, then they've just fell off a cliff.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk that they were in the title race this
Yeah,
year.
well, they were, for the first 2 or 3 months. But am I right in thinking they've handed Swedish boy's name, Johansson, a 3-year extension to his contract in August?
Yeah, he did get a new contract. I mean, they have a lot of trust in him, but the director of football, or the guy who Mikkel Dorsin, if you recognise the name, a former player, he's in charge of transfers. He's leaving his job this winter, so got to have someone else in charge of transfers for the winter. So that could be interesting. It's definitely something they've struggled with. But yeah, Johansson's there, and I don't think they've got the money to sack him anyway. I think they do trust him, but it's Greg says it's been a shambles in Molde. I don't think we've talked since Molde sacked their manager.
No, because I had to check.
Yeah,
I kept meaning to ask you, and then obviously I seen that they did actually eventually get rid of him.
He's gone, and they've had the assistant in charge for the last sort of 6 games or something, just getting seeing the season out. And I think I said at the start of the season that I thought it was a strange appointment, going kind of same again with an old guy with old methods, and it's proved itself right.
Do you think clubs, David, are struggling now, given Boda's financial strength? They must be making a fair amount of money, not just on player signings, but looking at the money that they're bringing in from European football as well must be colossal.
It's definitely going to be an issue for some clubs. I think I was talking to one of my friends the other day about Molde, and apparently the owner of Molde is pulling his money back a little bit because he's not seeing the success that he used to see. And Molde have so much income this last year from the Europe and Champions League this year, and
the Champions League money must be
unbelievable.
Yeah, and I think it's
the gap between that and the Europa League's huge.
I think it's a great point. I think we've kind of already seen Glimt kind of monopolise Norwegian football in the last 5 years through merit, in terms of what they've achieved as a club. But financially, if they play their cards right, they could monopolise Norwegian football for a long, long time to come.
I mean, something Rosenborg did in the 90s and the 90s pretty well, but they've messed that up recently. But yeah, Glimt's a much smaller club than Rosenborg. Population-wise, this town is really small, and it's not got a big stadium. It's only 8,000. They've got a new stadium in the plans. I think it's on the way. It's been on the way for a while, though. So yeah.
And is there a demand? Is there enough of I mean, they're obviously champions, they're playing Champions League football, but there's probably a finite amount of people who live.
There's a growth.
Yeah. I mean, there's 50,000 in Bodo, but the surrounding area, I mean, there's not a lot. There's not a lot of big football clubs anywhere near, really. Like the closest team to Bodo, Rosenborg, and Tromsø, and it's like I think it's like 700 kilometers to Rosenborg, and then like 500 kilometers to Tromsø. So it's like
nobody wants to go to Tromsø.
No, absolutely not. Not this time of year. But, so it's I think there's a demand for more than 8,000, especially on big Champions League nights and stuff. If that's their future. But yeah, it's obviously risk rewarding. They have gone out in the transfer market and spent quite a lot of money this year on players, like 30 or 3.5 million euros, which is a lot of money for Norwegian football. And they've brought guys who have not played, so they've got to be careful that they don't just waste money on guys and they get the right guys in, because they have done well with transfers, but they don't want to if it goes the wrong way, then they could suddenly
Yeah.
start.
I guess the reason you were speaking to Celtic exchange was surrounding the speculation about Knutsen once again being linked away from Glimt this time with Celtic. I think it looks unlikely at the moment, but I guess the inherent risk with Glimt is that their success has ran parallel with Knutsen being there and kind of running the show.
Yeah.
And if he goes, does that give the rest of Norway a chance to maybe close the gap from a footballing point of view?
Yeah, I mean, he's has run the show.
Five seasons?
No, 2018, I think he took over.
Is it longer than that?
Yeah. So, yeah, he's ran the show and has a lot of say in how the club runs. And yeah, I'm sure they have a plan. And I talked about it with Tino on that podcast you're talking about. And it's Gauti Helstrup was the Tromsø manager, finished third in the league with Tromsø, and then immediately went to Bodo Glimt as the assistant. That was 2 years ago now. I think the thought was that he would become the manager. Everyone kind of thought that, but Knutsen's still hanging about.
It's incredible that he's still there.
Yeah.
Given the success that he's had on a small club in a provincial league, he's not been snapped up by.
Yeah, and it does
German
make you
or
wonder
French
if he wants to.
I mean, Ajax was the obvious one when speculation was rife at the time that he was going to be going there, but timing for whatever reason just wasn't right for him. Seems quite happy with his lot, and maybe that's the way it's going to play out. Okay, let's bring it back round to betting. I think we've kind of had a really good.
Bodo going to score 2,
right?
Bodo to score 3.
I really like
9
that.
and 11-8.
Yeah, I really like that.
I know we've kind of talked up Fredrikstad's chances here. I just want to cover off the double. If you think the two of them are going to win, pays about 11-10 or something like that.
13-10.
13-10 you're getting.
I'm not convinced on Viking at Fredrikstad.
It's a big
I think
pressure
they're going
game.
to mess the bed.
A big pressure game.
I really do.
Yeah, there's more to it than the 4-7 suggests.
Yeah.
I think I think
it's the right price. I think, given
I think so.
Where they are,
it's short enough that it's long enough that you think, oh, maybe I have a bet on that, but it's also short enough you think, I'm not sure. I mean, I think I can see it. I can see them. I can see them just throwing it away. Like it's dead.
On that note, though, that's fantastic from a corner's perspective.
Yes,
they go behind, they take the finger out, and as we know, Viking have probably been our most profitable side to back this season on the corner fronts, especially in the first half. They've hit double figures on at least a dozen times this season in the league, and they do start games fast. But a dream scenario for them to go 1-0 behind, or it to be 0-0 in the first half.
Yeah, we're chasing it.
And if that happens, we're getting 8-5 on 4 first half Viking corners.
They're a big set piece team as well. Viking score a lot from corners, score a lot from penalties. 14 this season. Will they get another penalty? The NFF, the Norwegian Football Federation, are absolutely desperate for Bodo Glimt not to win the league. So,
why?
No, it's just
your
conspiracy penalties. Like they've actually dished them out to Viking.
You've been living in Glasgow too long.
Penalty Viking. No, but yeah, totally agree with Greg. Over 10.5 corners I looked at, and this was even money. I think it's a game that if Viking, which we kind of suspect might struggle to break down Fredrikstad, they're going to go chasing big time. They know they have to win. Pretty well. I mean, let's assume Bodo can beat Koffa, which I think we are assuming. But I think they know they have to win, and it's going to.
They have scored in all 14 away games.
Yes,
Viking, and they've scored 2 or more in their last 6 away games as well. So you can get 2 Viking goals at 1-2.
Yeah,
probably prefer that than the win. I think
feels like the kind of game that a former player or a former Bodo Glimt player might pop up with a goal or something for Fredrikstad. Anything there for us that you can think of? Putting you on the spot.
I don't think so. There's a centre half, Sigurd Kvile. He was a Bodo player. Centre half for Fredrikstad. Maybe pop up with a last minute header.
You never know.
What I haven't asked is who are they both playing in the last game?
So Viking, they still have. So Bodo have got Koffa this weekend, Fredrikstad
at
home next weekend.
Home win.
Viking have got Vålerenga at home next week.
So it's just by the games and the fixtures then, very much an easier pathway for Bodo.
It is.
I'm expecting 2.
Viking have got the lead though.
The
wins with the points in the bag, so we'll see how it goes.
But I'm going to say that Viking will not win the league.
Okay.
I'm going to say that Bodo will win both games and Viking will slip up in one of the 2 games.
Okay, So that's 11 to 10. Having some of that.
Yes.
That Viking game is on Sunday. I presume it's the live game in Norway on
Every game's live.
Sunday.
Every game's live. Yeah, it's just
What
not
happens? What happens next week when all games are
all
kicked
games at
off
the
at
same time. Yeah,
time?
every game's live. There's still.
Do you have a goal show?
Have a goal show, or I can pick whatever
Is
game I
it
want to
Sunday
watch.
next week?
I think it's Sunday. Yeah,
So,
I think
yeah.
it's Sunday.
Sign us up for a bit of that.
Yeah.
Okay, we've kind of touched on the fact that the way that the league's panned out with 2 weeks to go, there's not a huge amount still to be decided. So there's quite a few dead rubbers, which if there's anything you guys want to speak about, we can cover in a minute. That third and fourth place is still up for grabs. It is really just between Brann and Tromsø. Brann 53 points, Tromsø 51. Brann are away to Molde this weekend. They are 75 to win away. Molde 85. Touched on Molde and how they've probably checked out. In fact, I think they've won the last 2 games, haven't they?
Yeah.
So might be getting a wee bit of a bounce, but I don't know. You get to this stage of the season, you're starting to look for teams that have got nothing to play for, teams that are already on the beach. Any
Tromsø for me.
What's Molde's motivation here?
Quite a lot of young players have come in to the team in the last few weeks. Just I think that's motivation for them, and I think the motivation was to stay up a couple of weeks ago. But now I think beat Rosenborg, their biggest rivals, get ahead of Rosenborg in the league. That would be something at the very least. Apart from that, not much. Just on Brann as well. Brann haven't really been good in the league recently. They've got a lot of injuries. A lot of their best players are injured, and they've been kind of prioritising the Europa League, which is understandable. I think they thought that once they were out of the title race, which was about 3 or 4 weeks ago, that they would have third place sewn up. But Tromsø have got them up a little bit now, and then maybe they'll want to secure that. But yeah,
if I'm awarding team of the season, Tromsø for me, I think take it.
Yeah, Tromsø have been excellent.
We thought at the start of the season would struggle, and they really haven't.
Yeah,
they've been
fantastic.
And just to say, I really fancy Tromsø at the weekend, but they're a bit short. 1.6, I think there was 4.6.
They're at home Rosenborg.
Forecast for Tromsø on Sunday afternoon, -7. So enjoy the game, boys. Nobody from Rosenborg will be wanting to play that.
And just on that point, obviously, apologies to everyone who follows the podcast. We've not done one for a while, but did mention last weekend there was the potential for a few Rosenborg players to pick up a booking ahead of the trip to Tromsø.
Yeah.
One of them managed it.
One of them did an absolute stinking pull of the shirt to get a yellow. Dino Islamovic did 3 fouls without getting booked. He was trying to spend, unfortunately. Yeah, but the other boy was a Tromsø boy, Ulrik Jensen. He wanted to play in Tromsø.
He wanted to go back home for a wee trip.
Yeah.
To feel the -7 on the skin.
I guess on that note, in terms of booking markets, on the channel itself, we've got a real favourite on the channel, and that came from you, David, maybe
what's his name?
2 or 3 months ago. Jakob Sorensen. And he's delivered at least 4 times on the channel.
Unbelievable.
At 4-1, 5-1. It's crazy.
Back from suspension for this weekend.
So I think it's already been mentioned on the channel.
Yeah.
I think a few of the guys on the channel in the community chat have mentioned him. Booked this weekend.
He's been unbelievable.
Get him in there. Anything from a betting point of view on those Tromsø v Rosenborg and Molde v Brann games?
I wouldn't touch the Brann Molde game. It's really difficult, that one. And yeah, as I say, I fancy Tromsø, but they're a little bit short. Maybe stick them on. I'd maybe stick them on Aka because I really fancy them to win. I don't think Rosenborg will be up for the cold.
Yeah,
we've spoken about Fredrikstad, but I think also need to speak about Sandefjord and Vålerenga, who again I think have both had fabulous seasons.
Yeah.
We're not expecting them to be a top 8, especially when you think about Rosenborg
finishing above those two
and Molde
possibly.
As well.
Yeah, Sandefjord definitely the pick of those for me. They've been just incredible. New manager at the start of the season, or they had a manager team and one of them left, so the other guy took over himself, and he's done brilliant. And they've got a really good young team and a couple of players who should be going on to better things in the winter.
Yeah, so having a quick check through their playing Strømsgodset, who we've lost. They host Sandefjord, a complete dead rubber. And just on Strømsgodset, only 12 years after they were champions in Norway, they find themselves relegated to the second tier.
Take us full circle to Celtic State.
Ronny Deila.
It's all been downhill for Strømsgodset since we went to watch them.
Yes, we saw them win, so it's not our fault. But yeah, no, they've been awful this season, absolutely terrible. They brought in Fagermo in I think August to try and sort it out and just continue to be terrible. So yeah,
we touched upon the
Yeah.
Oberliga soon, but does Tromsø go down as clear favourites to come straight back up?
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah, because we've seen that happen.
Yeah.
Obviously, we'll touch
Last
on
few seasons,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the teams that, I mean, they get crowds of sort of 4,000 or 5,000 pretty regularly, and
and
it's-
3.
yes, yeah. So yeah, it's definitely one of the bigger teams, and yeah, I think they'll be favourites. But just to touch on who came up to replace them, Lillestrøm unbeaten in the Obosligaen this year.
First time that's happened? I've not seen it happen.
Did Brand not do it?
Did they?
I don't know. I thought
You're
Brand-
looking at me,
25
you're
wins,
looking at me
5
as if
draws.
I know stuff like this.
I thought you had dating notes. But yeah, and also Start, should mention Start.
Kind of big time.
Yeah, really good for the league, I think. A big,
Mhm.
big team, Kristiansand, which is right down the south coast of Norway.
This might be a daft question, but is that similar, the same, close to Kristiansund?
Long way away from
Is it?
Kristiansund, yeah.
Okay.
Kristiansund
I,
is
I see
Kristiansund near
Kristiansand.
Molde.
and-
Vincent,
Kristiansund is near Molde, Kristiansand is away down the
Yeah,
bottom.
I'm glad I asked that.
Yeah, yes,
question.
on that point, David, Start were terrible last season. Really, really poor. And again, I was
Mm.
expecting a kind of mid-table finish.
Mm.
So for them to finish second,
Yeah.
back in the Eliteserien, the first time in a good few seasons
Yeah.
anyway.
Since we've been covering it anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, 12th last season. So that's
Yeah,
quite
good
an
knowledge.
improvement. Good, thank you.
We did have a look.
I did. I've got some notes. You just need to ask me the right questions. We'll touch on obviously because they're working in the midst of the playoffs there this weekend. Just covering some of these other games. HamKam v Haugesund this weekend, another dead rubber. HamKam, I guess, will just be glad to have avoided the drop. Although
Yeah.
I think mathematically it could still be caught, but there's
Still
massive
go down,
difference.
but
Yeah,
it
it's
would take
not
a
gonna
miracle.
Yeah, and the team who can catch them is Brina. They're at home to Sarpsborg. Brina can still mathematically avoid relegation. They need to win their 2 games. They need to hope that Kristiansund lose. Goal difference isn't
This is
massive.
10 goals
Yeah.
between
HamKam and Brina.
HamKam,
But
yeah.
Kristiansund and Brina's 1 goal difference.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and Kristiansund are at Vålerenga
Yeah.
this weekend.
I can't see that.
Anything in there
I
that
don't
catches
think-
the eye from a betting point of view, or are these games just
Yeah, no,
end
not-
of season
Yeah,
order?
not for me. Because I was kind of thinking maybe Brina, but they're playing Sarpsborg, and Sarpsborg have got the cup final coming up in a couple of weeks, so
Yeah.
they'll definitely not be down tools.
Yeah.
They'll be going full out. Boys playing for a place in the cup final. Boys looking to get their fitness if they've been injured. So yeah, it's a game that I'd avoid. And yeah, the HamKam game, it's against Haugesund, so you just avoid it anyway. But HamKam are done. Yeah,
Just
season
on
over.
Haugesund, they actually got a win
Yeah.
2 weeks
Good play.
ago.
Good
And it was actually nice
good
to
win.
watch.
It was a good
It
one.
was the second one of the season.
Second one.
It was away from home. It was a small band of travelling fans,
Yeah, good to see.
and they all embraced.
Yeah.
They were 4-1 up. Nice to see.
It was nice to see.
Yeah, and I can't remember. Did we discuss this when we started recording or before we started recording? Is this the worst record?
We discussed it. We would
points.
try and find they've got 9 points. I
Must be.
can't remember. Yes, there's never been a single figure point. So yeah, they're
so they've
definitely.
got 2 games,
games
to at least
to-
get into double
yeah.
figures. I think was it 10 goals they've scored at home
So
in 14 games or something?
Tick of that,
Ah, can you imagine? Absolutely horrendous. And a minus 50 goal difference as well,
Aye.
which probably tells its own story. Yeah,
like a season ticket at McDermott Park for the last few years, but not this
Not
year.
Not this year.
Not this year.
Season 22, 23, 24, 25.
Yes.
And if Strom's Gods are going to be one of the favourites, where they would place Haugesund looking ahead to next season, is that going to be a big ask for them?
Yeah, I mean, probably in one amongst the favourites. They seem to they've been a bit better recently without being good. So I think they'll probably be in one of the top. They'll be most likely be expected in the top half, but definitely wouldn't have them down as promotion favourites like God said.
Yeah, I guess they've maybe been planning for Obosligaen for quite
Yeah.
a while.
Yeah, they have. They've
Because it's been pretty. Well, it's been confirmed for long enough, but it's been in the post for a long time. Just touching on HamKam, they've actually done well in the last 3 or 4 weeks. They've won 3 of the last 4 to take themselves out of trouble. Otherwise, it could be a wee bit more exciting down the bottom with 2 games to go.
Yeah, and they gave Viking a little scare
Yeah.
a couple of weeks ago, getting an equaliser and forcing Viking. Went in at 1 each at half time. Viking scored right at the start of the second half. So yeah, they gave them a little scare. But yeah, HamKam will be delighted that they've got out of that trouble and they can just enjoy the last 2 weeks. There's no way they're going down.
Yeah,
Probably the least exciting finale
Yeah.
at the bottom end.
we're
At the top,
trying. We're doing our best here.
I know at
We've
top
done
it's,
alright
it's all
so
happening at the
far.
top, but at the bottom we haven't
Yes.
really seen it as
Yeah,
I mean, we've got the
cutthroat
playoffs,
as this.
which is going to be Brina. I think we can pretty
Yeah.
much say it's going to be Brina. Which, if you'd given them the playoffs at the start of the season, they would have taken that. Brina is a very small club in Stavanger.
Now, David, what's their pitch like at this time of November?
Yes, it could be an issue. Definitely, it's grass. One of the few grass pitches in the Eliteserien, and it's going to be. I think I was doing the forecast today. It's going to be a lot of rain there the next few days. So yeah, a lot of rain, a lot of wind, so it could be a bit messy at Berina coming the playoffs.
And just jumping back into the Oberliga,
Yes.
pure shide.
Yeah.
Pure shite.
We've lost shide. Hooey.
They've not been the same since you cursed them.
It's that last
Neither
couple
them
of
or Stromsgod's Day. I wonder if it's us. Have been the same since
both relegated within a year.
when were we there?
September last year.
September.
September, so just over 12 months ago, and we've absolutely
We've
done them.
relegated them both.
But
We've jinxed them.
it's a bit of a surprise seeing Yon Dallin going down.
It was.
I'm not saying they're a massive club, but
No.
quite a biggish club for the Oberliga, and to go down into Division 2.
I mean, recently, Eliteserien club and yeah, they were. I mean, before they were in the Eliteserien, they had climbed up the ladder a bit from kind of fourth tier. But yeah, it was a bit of a shock for them,
Yeah.
and shame. And yeah, it'd be
At the top end of the Oberliga, I think we've touched on, we've got the playoff this weekend, Egersund v Ranheim. The winners of that will play Ålesund. The winners of that will then play Kongsvinger. And then do the winners of that play
Berina in a two-legged affair.
Berina, two-legged.
Yeah, so it's 5th v 6th.
It's a long route if you finish sixth.
Yeah, so
The Scottish Championship.
well, it's not. It's
Of
not
course.
two. So it's not two legs. It's
One
the
leg.
fifth,
Yeah.
fifth team plays at home, then the fourth team at home, third team at home. So yeah, I mean, Kongsvinger sitting there. You think, oh, good chance to get in the playoffs, but
No kicked a ball for.
I
not
quite like
kicked the ball
the,
and chucked the lead of the chucked second place in the last day. So yeah,
It's
sit
not
in
gimme, is
that,
it?
sit in that for 3 weeks. Well,
Yeah.
Serie B setup, where if you finish so many points ahead of the team in fourth, you go up automatically.
All right, okay,
And
that's
it's only
right.
so many points you play playoffs.
Save that for the Italian podcast.
I'll do that next.
Just on that game, Egersund at 11-10, Ranheim 2-1.
Yeah, it's pretty fair. Egersund played Lean in the cup last week. Getting their cup,
This
getting it
year's
early.
cup.
Next
Next
year's
year's
cup.
cup.
Getting the game in early to keep themselves going and beat them 3-2. 2 late goals to beat Lean 3-2, going to the next round of the cup, which is next April or something. So yeah, they've kept themselves warm and ready to go against Ranheim.
Speaking of the cup, we've got this season's cup final coming
Yes.
up in December, I think it
Yeah,
is.
it's
It's
first
in
week of December.
early December. Lillestrøm, obviously runaway leaders or winners of Oberliga against Sarpsborg. I couldn't find a price. How would you price that
think
final up?
Lillestrøm will be favourites.
Yeah.
I think maybe it'll be pretty tight, but yeah, kind of
5-4 for
5-4, 75 kind of thing. I don't know. I think
I'm going to hold you that.
Yeah.
See what they come up with. Yeah, and what a season it would be for Lillestrøm coming up as.
Yeah.
Can you call them invincibles? I guess you can.
Yes.
Unbeaten
Unbeaten.
in the league
And
and,
the cup.
the cup
Yeah.
potentially. So they should be a really good addition.
Yeah, absolutely.
Back into.
Well, they were absolutely terrible last year, so it's good to have them back.
I know.
Yeah, no, I think so, and they've got a lot of good young players who have definitely taken that step down and made an impact. I think it can refresh. Bodo Glimt did
Yeah.
it, Rand did it,
Yeah.
Olering did it this year. Lillestrøm are doing it.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
there's been quite big teams
Yeah,
have gone
yeah,
down.
absolutely.
You know,
Next summer's obviously very busy with World Cups in America and Canada and Mexico. But I think the year after we'll try and get back over for a quick
Right.
visit.
for a game. Yeah, look forward to that.
But I think this year we haven't managed as many podcasts this year. So
No.
I think next
Oh.
year.
Yeah,
How's the little one doing, David?
she's doing well. She'll be a bit older by this time next year. So
we'll all
be
be.
back this-
That's the date. That's it.
This is our first trip to Scotland. Yeah.
No, she was here last Christmas, but she doesn't remember that.
Right, okay.
Yeah, that, to be fair, I was half asleep half the time.
And of course, has she decided which country she's going to play for? Is it Norway or Scotland?
It just depends how good she is. If she's crap, she can play for Scotland.
You do know we've got mostly Scottish listeners. You do know that.
Do they watch the ladies' team? Not sure.
I'm sure someone does. Okay, just for a wee bit of housekeeping as well on Oberliga, there's Moss v Bratvåg.
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 Yeah.
Which is the relegation playoff.
Yes. Yeah.
This
for
weekend
promotion.
or
Yeah,
promotion,
Yeah.
depending on which way it goes. Bratvåg defeated Grorud 4-1
Yes.
over two
Good
legs.
result.
Good result.
So that's this weekend as well. Is that the final of
Yeah,
that?
that will be.
one.
And,
I always fancy the Division 2 clubs
Yeah.
coming up.
No.
Because they
Yeah.
play well, so many
Momentum.
goals,
Yeah.
get some
Yeah.
confidence. And
yeah, and
see it
they've
happen
come
quite a lot.
through the playoff. Yeah, they've come through the playoff against Grorud, so they've been the best second place team in that league. And Yeah, I think you'd fancy them against Moss, and
And
that'd be
again, I
nice. I
think-
don't think they were in. I don't think we've had them in the old boss since.
No, not since we're doing the podcast. Anyway.
We've not even done the pronunciation for them yet. So
Obviously. I might have been off that day. I don't know.
But next year we'll again focus a lot on Division 3.
Yeah.
Again, probably our best league out of the Norwegian leagues. Obviously, was tough again this season. Been tough the last couple of years, but yeah, that's more than made up for by Division 3.
Yeah, it's been unbelievable.
It's really good. David's insight as well in terms of team news.
Yeah.
Teams playing the same day as the first team, which has been great too. So
It's
very much looking forward to that.
I mean, getting better and better.
Yeah, we
following
are.
it as well, and just noticing when something's happening. That's
It's difficult when the Scottish league start because it's difficult to have
It's a lot of
a
noise.
view
Isn't it? It's a lot
across
of
It's a
stuff.
lot of games.
64 teams.
6 divisions.
But
of
in the
12,
summertime,
it's
it's
like-
fantastic.
Yeah, we've got that to look forward to next season. As you say, it's going to be a busy summer as it is, but that will keep us going. Okay, anything I've missed?
Thanks. So.
Okay.
No, I think in
terms of
terms of
just
from a
give
bet
it-
perspective, I think we're all in agreement. Bodo Glimt to win, Bodo to score 2, Bodo to score 3. 11-8 for the 3 goals, I think, for me, looks pretty solid.
Feel like that.
Not convinced about doubling it up, though, with Viking. If I was, I'd double it up with both sides over 1.5 goals. That pays 5-4. But corner-wise, I think Bodo will start quick. They are 11-10 for a corner in the first 10 minutes. A Greg special.
For one.
For Bodo. Yep, on Friday night.
That's
There you go, David.
yeah.
That'll pay for tonight's drinks. And obviously Viking, a huge part of our season on the corners front. So
Yeah.
they are 8-5 to get 4 first half corners at Fredrikstad.
Don't disagree with any of that.
No,
Of
absolutely not.
course.
That sounds good. I would just add the match corners in the Viking game over 10.5 at even money. That was something I
Okay.
liked.
Good stuff. Well, I think that's us for this week's edition of the Gambler Betting Podcast. Thank you very much for tuning in or for watching or whatever you're doing. If you do want to watch this, I should probably say this at the beginning of the podcast. We will post the links on social to the YouTube version of this if you want to see us. As opposed to just listening
Expecting
to
big numbers as well.
Absolutely. Tell your friends. Tell everybody. But yeah, that's us for this week. We'll be back next week ahead of the season finale in Eliteserien. I'm assuming we will still have a title race because we don't expect Bodo to lose and Viking
No.
That's
to
not
win.
going to happen.
So we should still be in the hunt for the winners. So thanks very much for listening. In the meantime, best of luck with your bets this weekend.
Yeah, thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
guys.
Good luck.
Cheers.